Before the break, we were talking a lot about resilience, about building the muscle of mental toughness. And I'm here with James Elliott, and we are really having a great conversation because as two people who work with entrepreneurs all the time, we see some of the same things. And I want to kind of address the health and personal well-being side of entrepreneurship. Because James, I know you and I, we've talked about this, and I'm going to ask the question because it's not just about mental resilience and mental toughness, but it's also about personal well-being. So we've seen a lot of mental health concerns coming up in the news recently. What can people do so that they can sort of balance this and continue to build mental toughness, continue to show up, but also take care of themselves along the way?
Fair. I think one of my mentors always said, put your free time and your vacation time off in your calendar first. I thought he was crazy. When would I get work done? Although I found the hard way through burnout that he was right, because if we don't put our non-negotiable rest time in there, it doesn't happen. We get burnt out, we get fried, and then we can't work. And then there goes our performance in business. And then, of course, you worry more, you stress more, which wears you out more and makes you even less able to do the work and cope. So that's one of the things, too, is put your free time in the calendar. Rest is important. Play is important. Even your subconscious mind, 95% of your brain doesn't love when they're working, grinding all the time. It wants to play, it wants to have fun too, and it'll stop you in the form of procrastination, hesitation, distraction, or just not wanting to work, not feeling like work. It'll do that when you need a break, or if you haven't had enough fun or play, it'll stop you. And that's what causes this distractionation or being on the phone or scrolling all the time when you should be working or when you should be, air quotes, so doing something when you want to be doing something different. I think it's important to take a note of that. And I guess the last thing I'll touch on is foods. Yes, from an ex-holistic nutritionist, it's important to eat healthy. Yes, have fun, enjoy, like I just said. Life's too short not to. Although if people are living on coffee and sweets and junk and carbs all day long, you're also riding this wave all day long, and your business will also ride that wave as well. If you're tired or moody or you have brain fog, or exhausted, burnt out, you're not going to be a great entrepreneur. Things are not going to work well. It's hard to get into a great flow state, a state of high performance, high action. It's getting things done. It's very, very hard to do that when you're burnt out. And eating and diet and exercise too. I'm not saying you have to become a gym rat, but take a walk for 10, 15, 20 minutes a day type thing. Go with your colleagues, have fun, go with your special person. But yes, careful the food, because I saw colleagues years ago, they were useless basically from, I'd say, 1:32 p.m. onwards, because they had a lunch that was either they skipped lunch or had a lunch that was full of carbs or full of junk, a quick thing, and then they crashed. They're useless. And they're useless either for the rest of the day or useless for till 4 or 4:30. And then really, if you're leaving at 5:36, there's not much time to do anything. You're just kind of slowly starting to recover from the carb crash or the junk crash, or heaven forbid not eating anything at all. And it doesn't sustain you long term anyways. If it's not killing you now, it will. Living on coffees or cigarettes or junk or nothing will come back to bite you. Even if you think you're Superman, Superwoman now, and you can do it now, it will come back to bite you and haunt you and your business. That's for sure.
Yeah, and we often talk about this in peak performance, like as entrepreneurs, we're truly business athletes, and it's about the edge, and we have to fuel our success. Our brain requires fuel, so fuel your output so that we can succeed. And if we're not fueling our body, I completely agree. We have brain fog. We're not able to make the right decision the first time. We don't have speed of implementation. So let's assume that we're doing all of the right things. We're fueling our body. We're moving our body. We're building our mental toughness. And success is what everybody's working towards. But what happens when you achieve that maybe financial success and you look back and you become a victim of that success? All of a sudden you're overworked, you're exhausted, you're disconnected, you forget why you even started in the first place. Like, how do we prevent that? Or when we find ourselves that, we've had success by other people's definition or what our old definition was, like, what do we do now when we're more stressed than ever and less fulfilled?
Right on, exactly. And to your point, some people's measure of success, I don't think it's success. I think it's failure. You are successful to some degree. You have money per se, but you have nothing else. You don't have time. You don't have health. What that's why we're living. We're not living to just grind our lives away. At least most people, the pace people I want to work with anyway. I think you're right. We become a victim of our own success And we've built this engine, if you will, or this business that really has taken our life away, or that the business we work for versus our business working for us. And I think we need to definitely step back and get off the treadmill of life, of work, of just doing, busy, being busy, and look at things. What can I delegate? What can I outsource? What can I automate? And what can I just plain eliminate? What is a $2 task, a $10 task, a $10,000 task? And of course, do more of the $10,000 tasks and less of the $2 tasks. Unfortunately, if we're stuck in self-doubt and imposter syndrome, usually it's more comfortable to do the $2, $10 tasks than the big $10,000 tasks, which also limits someone. But I digress. So it's looking at what we do best, what we love to do, what would light us up and energize us to do all day long, and then how we can take a lot of those other things off our plate. We can basically 80-20 rule our business, Pareto's principle, right? Pareto's law. Instead of what most people are doing, the 80% that gets them 20% of the results, let's switch that and help someone have in their business and their structure, their actions, taking the 20% that gives them 80% of the results, and then the other stuff, let's put that on someone else's plate. Let's give that to someone else, or again, eliminate it if it should not be done anyways, which is a lot of times the case.
Yeah, you're preaching to my choir over here. I'm a big fan of working smarter, not harder. And when we think about elite athletes, when we think about elite entrepreneurs, when we think about the startup that becomes the billion-dollar business, it's all about finding what works and doubling down on that. It's about simplifying as opposed to making it more complex. If you look at the most successful entrepreneurs, they have a really simple process. They haven't overcomplicated things. And so I really like that you've brought this. So if we were talking to the viewers today and they're watching and they're like, holy cow, I don't even know where to get started. I'm so complex. I'm doing all of these things. How do I find this? What is the one step, the one action they can take today that will start moving them forward towards this sort of do, delegate, or delete mentality?
I love that, the triple D, do, delegate, delete. That's amazing. I think one of the biggest things is to take stock of all the things you do in your business. Write it down, a list, on your phone if you want, and keep adding to that. Everything, every single thing you do, and take stock of that and look at what of that you love and that you loathe, what someone else can do and what only you can do. Because if it's only what you can do, then that is your unique ability. That is your superpower. Do that all day long. And then, of course, what is actually effective out of that, and then what is the little piddly tasks that either should be at least automated or AI'd or outsourced or maybe not done at all. And I think people need to step back and get off the treadmill and look, okay, there's James down there. He's doing all this stuff, and step back and take stock of it versus just doing, being busy. And I say to people, take 10, 12, 15, 20 minutes, an hour if you want, a day, even 10, 15 minutes, and reflect on your thinking, reflect on your business, reflect on what's working, what's not working, perhaps why it's not working, what you'd rather do instead, what your intuition is guiding you to do instead when you actually take that time to listen to it. Because your intuition will talk to you. You just need to listen to it. And in that 10, 12, 15, 20, 1 hour a day, that's when you can get some of your greatest reflections, greatest insights. No reflection, no progress. You have action with no reflection, no progress. Action and reflection equals progress and growth. And I think that's one of the biggest things is to just chill, sit and chill, phone off, and just sit and be.
I really like that you brought that up. And so, folks, if you're listening, you just got the best action step of the day so far. It is to schedule some white space in your calendar. All of the most successful entrepreneurs schedule white space so that they have strategic thinking time, so they can reflect, so they can be strategic about where they're moving, so they can say, okay, what isn't working and how do I get off this hamster wheel? So if you're hearing this, pick up what James is putting down, because this is legitimately one of the key characteristics of high performers. James, it's been so great having a conversation with you. That's an excellent action step. How can people reach out to you to learn more about what you're doing and how they can start creating a limitless life?
Amazing. So one of the best ways is limitless-entrepreneur.com. You can also find me, James R. Elliott with 1 T. You can find me, James R. Elliott, LinkedIn, Facebook, I'm also James R. Elliott 99 on YouTube. But other than that, limitless-entrepreneur.com. And there's even some goodies there as well for you that I'm going to be putting up as well. Some cool tips, hints, and a little video training for you. So that's one of the best ways to reach me as well. And yeah, thanks for having me here and let me do what I love.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask you one final question. We only have just less than a minute to go before we have to break. But if you knew everything that you knew now and you could go give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be when you started?
I think it would be to stop worrying what people think about you. Stop comparing myself to others and stop worrying what people think about you, because that's the death of growth. It's the death of joy. You won't take action. If you do, you won't enjoy it. If you have success, you won't enjoy it because you're always comparing. And then, of course, if you are fearful about what people will think about you, you're never going to start. And if you do, it'll be the little safe, piddly things that are safe because no one will see me fail. Hey, go big or go home, because that's when, again, fate favors the fearless. That's when you can go really big, take action, take a risk, and have fun with it too.
Thanks so much. It was such a pleasure having you on. Folks, stick around. We do have to take a brief break. I'm just going to remind you to look at your calendar today. Schedule that white space in today. It's incredibly important to have that time for yourself, that you can unplug, that you can think, you can reflect on your business, and you can strategically move forward. That's how you get off the hamster wheel and do everything that we're talking about. Feel free to reach out to James and start creating your limitless life. We do have to take a brief break. We'll be right back after these messages.